Welcome to Trade Talk, the podcast where construction pros connect, share, and grow. Brought to you by Contractors Connect, this show dives into real-world issues facing today's builders on and off the job site.
Whether you're swinging a hammer, running a crew, or scaling a business, we've got the insights, stories, and expert tips to help you level up in the building industry.
I'm Sarah White.
And I'm Erin Bacher. And together, we'll be talking shop with industry leaders, tradespeople, and innovators who are shaping the future of construction.
Let's get to work. This is Trade Talk. Welcome back to Trade Talk, the podcast where we connect the people, the businesses, and ideas forming the building industry. I'm your host, Sarah.
And I'm Lindsay, and today we are joined by Mike Miller from Specialty Roofers, a company that has been serving builders and homeowners in our area for decades. So we are going to learn a little bit about Mike. He's got a long family history in this industry, and I'm excited to hear more.
Yeah, we're also going to talk about trends in roofing, challenges builders face, and some practical tips to help homeowners. So I think we'll learn a lot.
Yep. So welcome to Trade Talk, Mike.
If you're in the construction industry and your marketing feels more like a punch list than a plan, it might be time to call in the pros. At Bespoke Consulting, we help contractors and construction businesses get noticed with branding that builds trust, websites that convert, and marketing strategies that actually move the needle. Want to grow your business without wasting time or money? Start with Bespoke. Learn more at bespokeconsulting.com.
All right. Tell us a little bit about how you got into the roofing industry.
So my father was a CB in the Navy, which they're builders basically, and that was during the Vietnam War. And when he got back home, he started his own construction company, which then led into strictly roofing, like in the late 70s, early 80s. And so growing up as a teenager, that was always my job, was obviously started off as just a helper to help, get money to buy a new skateboard or whatever, and eventually worked for him a lot more in the future.
So did that start in this area?
It didn't. My mother lived here in Niceville, but my father and mother met in Ohio, and that's where his business was.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what brought you down here?
So again, my mother lived here, so I'd vacation here a lot. I always loved the Niceville, Destin area, so I vacationed, or really I should say visited my mom every year. And so she would always get on me about moving down here permanently, but working for my father's business just wasn't going to happen, so I stayed in Ohio.
So growing up around kind of the construction industry, roofing, did you always know this is what you wanted to do?
No, actually, I joined the military right out of high school, and I always wanted to be a firefighter. So I ended up doing that for 4 years. And I was still doing that, but working for my father, because as you know, firefighters work like 24 on, 24 off, and then you get a Kelly day. So you only work about half the month. So I'd work for him. And then it got to a point where I was like, dang, I need to go back to the fire department. And I wasn't finished with the job. And I really loved what I was doing with him. So eventually it became full time, which I never thought that would happen. But it eventually did.
Yeah.
So you decided to move down here, and you were doing roofing on your own before you started Specialty Roofers. Is that right?
Yeah. So my father eventually was going to retire. Unfortunately, Hurricane Ivan hit down here, and my mom called me really upset. She was actually right here in Blue Water. I remember being on the phone with her, and her ceiling had caved in. She was crying, real upset, and she said, I really need your help. So I ended up bringing 36 or 38 people down here and helped tarp, and mainly my mom's neighborhood and people from her church and just friends. And then I ended up getting a temporary license. I thought I'd be here for a week, turned into a month, turned into 3. And then eventually I ended up staying full time. My dad was retired at that point.
Yeah.
So.
And so I guess this year is 15 years of Specialty Roofers that you founded with your partner, Cole. Tell us a little bit how you guys got started.
So, what was it, 2006, I think it was? Cole had reached out to me and said he had recently graduated from Auburn, and he was wanting to start his own business. We kind of hit it off over the phone. He came in and interviewed, hired him on the spot, and we just really connected. He eventually started his own business, but that unfortunately was during 2008 when the economy was really bad. And so we stayed in touch some. And then one day he just wanted to meet for lunch, and we talked about starting a business together, which we eventually did in 2011. I'm real happy with that. It's worked out really well.
Yeah. You guys have grown a bunch. Tell us about everything that you guys do.
So we started off in a really small office over in Destin, and eventually grew into a bigger building in Fort Walton. And then 5 years ago, we built our own office really between here and Freeport. So now we have a big metal shop, our own brakes, shears. We have a full service department. I mean, we've grown a lot. Before it was basically a few salesmen, a secretary, and Cole and I, and now, we have about 60 employees.
And a third partner.
And a third partner. Then that's made really a lot of difference in our growth as Josh Deal brought him on. He runs our commercial division and is fabulous. I mean, really growing our business.
Awesome.
So you said you do commercial, obviously, but you also work directly with homeowners in this area?
Yeah, so we work with homeowners, builders, property managers, a little bit of everything.
Great. What sets Specialty Roofers apart from other companies in this area?
Well, I think one thing is we're certified with specific manufacturers. A lot of companies are not. It usually takes a long time to be certified with someone. You need factory training. A lot of these manufacturers want you to be in the business for 5 to 10 years before they'll certify you. And they also train our crews. So all our crews are factory certified installers, which means a lot. We know they're going to do it their way, which protects the homeowner long term when it comes to their warranty. And one thing I've learned over the years, we've really stuck with a few specific manufacturers and learned those products really, really well. Unlike years ago when we would basically give what color you want, give them like 50 options. And I think that was the wrong approach. So we've simplified things, and it's just worked real well for us. Our guys are trained, and our sales guys know the products real well, the warranties. So
well, and it's always good, I think, to make relationships long term with those companies because they'll help you out, and obviously you're helping them out by selling their products.
And then you're selling something that stands the test of time.
Yeah, and I want to bring this up just because it happened right down the street from here. We did a roof almost 11 years ago for a lady. She unfortunately lost her husband last year. It's been really overwhelming for her. Her roofs started having major issues, so we got GAF involved. They came over, looked at it. They sent the product to their engineers. They researched it, found out it was a manufacturer defect. We just replaced her entire roof for zero cost, including permit, dumpsters, labor.
Nice.
Everything was covered 100%. And it just felt really good to be able to go do that for her.
Yeah.
And
it's great that you would take the time to even, look into that issue because a lot of people would just be like, oh, it's been too long.
Right.
Not my fault, not my problem.
Or like years ago, we would use all GF shingles, but we would use a different company's pipe boots or this, and then they start pointing fingers.
Oh, yeah.
So that's another reason we really like to stick with one product across the board because there's no pointing fingers. And,
Right.
and long term, it protects the customer.
Yeah, for sure.
That's great.
Quick break to tell you about Blueprint, the luxury annual guide to remodeling, construction, and design for the Emerald Coast. Blueprint helps your business get in front of homeowners who are actively planning high-end projects. Through a beautifully curated print publication plus digital and social exposure. If you want your brand seen by homeowners before they choose a builder, designer, or trade partner, now's the time. Ad space is limited and the deadline to reserve is May 1st. Learn more at contractors-connect.com/blueprint. And you guys have won some awards too, haven't you?
We have. We've won the President's Club Award, which is really big. I mean, I think at one point there were only 27 in North America. And then we won the 3-star President's Club Award a few years ago, which I think there was 11 in North America. So that was huge.
Yeah, that's great.
So let's talk a little bit about kind of roofing trends. What are you seeing these days? Is the metal roof still the thing that people are putting on their houses, or kind of where are people trending?
Yeah, I would say metal, but also synthetic products. Like instead of a cedar shake, it's a synthetic shake, because we do a lot of that out in like the Alice Beach area. Unfortunately, in this region, there's some cupping. It kind of discolors in ways homeowners don't necessarily like. So the synthetic product really holds up better. It's expensive, but you know, it's got great curb appeal and a lot of longevity. I think that's one thing we're really seeing a lot is synthetic, like slate type materials, and also metal products.
And I know at one point you guys were talking about the solar shingles. Have you gotten those in yet?
That's a frustrating topic. So we really went all in with that. We sold a lot of GAF's Decotech solar panels. They're low profile, blend in with the roof. And then they were coming out with the solar shingle. And I had a list of, I think, a dozen homeowners that wanted it installed. We were just about ready to get going with it, and all of a sudden it got pulled. We don't know exactly what's going on.
Wasn't ready yet for some reason.
Not ready. They did start installing it out west, and I think there were some complications. And I don't think it's the product. I think it's with getting the right electricians and permitting and all that. So nothing against the product. I think they just weren't prepared for everything else that goes along with that.
Yeah.
So working the kinks out. I hope that if we talk again in the future, that'll be something we're doing.
That sounds really cool, because I think,
does.
I mean, I just don't like the way they look.
They look, 100%. Well, and I don't know, maybe you can speak to this a little, but, you know, when I've looked at homes that have a solar panel installed on their roof, what happens at the time that your roof needs to be replaced? Like, how does that work? Do you have to take it off? Can you reinstall it? Is that a huge expense?
That's the main thing, is the expense, because a lot of these solar companies that came into town, they would say, just give us a call if you ever want to change your roof, and we'll come out and remove it for a small amount, a small fee. Well, a majority of those companies are no longer here. So we're finding these homeowners that have to then find somebody that'll do it. It's very expensive. And another thing we're finding, the curb mounted type skylights is, unfortunately, especially in Niceville, Blue Water area, a lot of squirrels are doing damage to them. My neighbor, for instance, I've repaired her roof multiple times due to squirrels chewing on the cords that come out, and just a lot of issues.
Yeah, never would have thought about that. Let's shift the focus a little bit to builders and contractors. What are some common mistakes that maybe builders make in the construction phase that affects the roofing process for you?
It really boils down to communication. It's that we want to know the minute that house is framed, so we can, and deck, so we can dry it in. And there's times we drive by and we're like, oh, that house is done. We call the builder, oh yeah, come over when you have time. Well, it's been exposed for 2 weeks. And I know they're busy too, but
that's so bad for the house.
Yeah, it's just bad for the house. And the other thing is penetrations. Like, we will be ready to roof the house and the pipe boots or pipes are not through the roof yet, or for solar, that hasn't been planned out yet. So we're doing that after the fact, and damage can be done at that point. We got to peel up brand new material to install a real simple product that could have been done earlier.
At what point should the builder communicate with the roofer about a project?
I think it's wise right at the beginning to have, because we're such an important part of the envelope, we're protecting everything. So let's have a really good long talk about how we're going to do this and about access. I mean, once we get there, we need access for safety purposes. Our crews need to be safe. I just think communication is everything, and we should meet early on, and then we need to do the same, is communicate through the process so the builder knows what stage we're at. By far the most important thing, though, is just continuing to communicate until everything's done.
Yeah, that makes sense. Living and building in our area obviously has some unique challenges. So what would you recommend that, homeowners and builders be thinking about, just considering our area and our climate and the storms that come
Things
through?
that need to be done differently.
Yeah, I would say the underlayments are extremely important. And I know there's a touchy subject with like foam insulation. Peel and seal underlayments crucial in most installations, because, for instance, when I was talking about my mother freaking out when Ivan hit, what happened was she only lost about a dozen shingles, but then the underlayment ripped open. So now they make synthetic underlayments that won't rip, and just highly suggest at a minimum using that, because God forbid you lose 12 shingles off the front of your house, at least that underlayment's not going to rip.
Yeah.
And so what is the controversy with the foam insulation?
That we've had just ventilation is really important, and there's still some unanswered questions, I think, with what that foam is doing. I know one thing it's doing is saving people a ton of money on heating and cooling. And
I have mixed feelings about it, just like you're saying, because it does save so much money. It's great for the AC, but then the house isn't breathing, which causes a lot of problems that people don't realize.
Yeah, and when I built a house 4 or 5 years ago, and I swore I wasn't going to do foam insulation. I did it. And I put some dehumidifiers in. I did certain things that I think helped, but I saved so much money. I was doing the math in my head, like, well, I could replace this roof in 15 years with the savings.
Really?
So that's big. And so hopefully we learn more about long-term effects of foam.
Well, and they've got some different options now, like the open cell versus closed cell. But I totally am in agreement. I hope we learn more, because my husband, as a builder, loves the product, always recommends it. But I mean, we've had issues personally in our own house with the house not, because it was an older home. I think the newer construction does better with it, but the older house, and I love an old house, like renovating it, but going in there and trying to like retrofit it with something like foam was not the right move. And we had to do the same thing, like install fans and dehumidifiers.
I think a lot of the builders are they're doing a little more with moving air in the attic and stuff to make a big difference. And I think that's important, that the builders are looking at options to really get the most out of the foam. Because, you're saving a bunch of money, but you don't want your shingles to have mold tunnels running through them because they can't breathe. There's just a lot of things to consider, I guess.
That's interesting, because we've talked about adding it to our house.
But
now I'm not sure that we should.
I'd be leery.
I will say, under like metal and tile and stuff, you don't see nearly as much, but a shingle, there have been occasions where we get calls and homeowners are like, you need to get over here, something's going on. We have these big lines going through our roof, and we show up and they're not there. And they're like, they were there yesterday. And so then we go the next day, they're not there. And then we've literally had calls saying, can you come over at 1 o'clock? Because that's when they're showing up. So it's something to do with the temperature changes. So,
Interesting.
we would really like to do a little more research on what's causing all that so we could better answer some of our homeowners'
Right.
concerns.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Speaking of keeping up with your roof and things like that, how often do you recommend homeowners get an inspection?
It really depends on your situation. Like if you have a lot of trees, I recommend a minimum of 2 times a year to at least have your gutters inspected,
Yeah.
cleaned out. I mean, it'll go a long way. My neighborhood has a ton of trees, and a lot of shingle roofs have discolored due to leaves and stuff sitting in the valleys too long. So we started a maintenance program at Specialty Roofers that's really helped a lot of our homeowners, where we'll go out multiple times a year for a discounted price and clean their gutters, just check all their pipe boots, make sure squirrels haven't chewed on them. Because
Yeah.
a lot of times we find it's a $20 piece of flashing that was damaged that cost
A lot of
$10,000
damage.
worth of a custom bathroom or kitchen.
Yeah.
So
So,
inspections save a
what
lot.
are some signs that a homeowner might see that the roof needs service?
I would say debris below pipe boots, meaning the squirrels maybe have chewed part of your pipe boot off, accumulation in the valleys, or your downspouts are not flowing real good. It's probably because
Yeah.
they're clogged. I just this past weekend with all that rain, I was looking over at my neighbors, and the elbow coming out of their gutter was just spewing water out of it. And I knew it was because the debris was stuck in that elbow and it couldn't go anywhere. And then it starts pouring over.
Oh, gosh.
And all the weight, it just
Yeah.
can do a lot of damage to your fascia and foundation, all that. So
Great tips. What has it been like carrying on kind of the family tradition of roofing and construction, but now getting to put your own spin on it?
it's been nice. Matter of fact, my father came to visit about a year ago and met Cole and I at the office, and he jokingly said, "We need to put a statue of him out."
Yeah.
But he was really impressed with how we've grown. And he was a little leery about doing base work and some bigger school work. And that was one thing I always wanted to do. And so he was really happy to see that we've successfully been able to do that, because he had some bad experiences back in the 80s or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
And you guys have done a lot of big projects. Tell us about some of them.
yeah, a lot of schools. We just finished Chelco, the new Chelco in Freeport. The Crestview K through 12 is a really big job. Destin Elementary. And there's just so many more to add. We've really been super busy on the commercial side for a while now.
Yeah.
That's great.
What do you like most about serving in this area?
I'm prior military, and there's a lot of military here. And I also am from a smaller town, and you still have that small town feel here. I just feel like the community is super tight, and I love that about it.
Yeah.
Unlike a big city, we just, and we give back to our community a lot.
You
Yeah.
do. You have a lot of community
important.
involvement. You've done free roof giveaways.
We have on Friday sponsored the 5K run for the Niceville cross country team. Obviously, a ton for the baseball teams around here with Cole's son being really involved.
Yep.
South Walton just won a state championship,
Yeah.
so that was exciting. But we really enjoyed that. Give a whole lot to Niceville High School and South Walton.
Yeah. Fun fact, they furnished the pretzel maker at the concession stand at Niceville. So check that out.
Yeah, that's right.
That was really exciting I think you did that for maybe the band, but that was, they were super pumped about that.
Yeah, my oldest daughter was in the band, and so soft spot for the band and baseball team.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Are you ready for some rapid fire questions?
Sure.
Okay. First one. Favorite roofing material?
GAF shingles.
Okay. Coffee or energy drinks?
Unfortunately, energy drinks.
Yeah.
First job you ever had?
Roofing.
Yeah.
Biggest lesson you've learned in business?
Don't bite off too much than you can chew.
Yeah. One tool you can't live without?
My cell phone.
Yeah.
What is one thing people would be surprised to learn about you?
That I was in Desert Storm. A lot of people don't know was in the military or a veteran.
Yeah. So if you weren't doing roofing, what would you be doing?
I'd be a firefighter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very great.
All right. Thank you so much for
you're
joining us
welcome.
today. Tell everybody how they can learn more about Specialty Roofers.
You can always go to our website, specialtyroofers.com. Our phone number is 850-974-ROOF. If you have any questions, please call us. We'd be happy to help. And we have a service department if you have small problems like inspections and small leaks or squirrels chewing your pipe boot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
Want to grow your network and your business? Join Contractors Connect, the go-to networking group for professionals in the building industry. For just $400 a year, members get 4 complimentary meetup tickets per year, a featured spot in our online directory, visibility at every Contractors Connect event, and more. Whether you're a contractor, vendor, or service pro, there's a place for you here. Join today at contractors-connect.com/memberships, and let's build something great together.
Now it is time for Voices from the Booth.
So today we are taking a look back at our Walton County event. We met some great people there, some new faces. So let's hear what they have to say.
Yeah.
Tell everybody a little bit about you and what brought you out.
Yeah, so my name is Jeanette Thetford, and I am the Community Engagement Liaison for Realty One Group Emerald Coast. We are a brokerage with 4 offices across the Emerald Coast, over 160 agents, and we're here at Contractors Connect to connect the agents to the vendors who care, who communicate, and are there to provide great services for everyone's customers, because every home deserves it.
I love that. I love that. You are in the right room. I'm so glad you made it out tonight, and I hope to see you again in the future.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us tonight. You are with Gateway Payment Technologies.
That's correct.
Tell me about your company and what brought you out tonight.
Well, we are a local company based out of Destin. Been in the area doing business for over 10 years.
Okay.
We service POS for about 500 different businesses across the Gulf Coast, Northern Gulf Coast, Emerald Coast area.
Nice.
And we do everything from restaurants to retail. We also, however, have partnered with a software development company locally. So we actually now can create operational systems
Amazing.
for businesses that, instead of getting a software that has a whole bunch of features they never use,
Right?
we can customize that, make it much more efficient for them, more cost effective for them.
Yeah.
So we save a lot of local businesses money in what they're spending when it comes to their operational software as well. So
Great.
this is kind of a new thing that we're doing, but it's taken off in a big way, and we're so excited about the opportunity to just service our local community. Again, we have service techs that are local, so we're local.
Yeah,
so
great.
that's a benefit of having us too. We're local to the area.
Well, how can people learn more about you guys?
GatewayPaymentTechnologies.com. You can visit us and check us out on Facebook.
Okay.
You want people with integrity to handle your money,
Great.
and we do that for you.
Great. So nice to meet you. Glad you came out. Hope you make some great connections tonight.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Whether you're building from the ground up or adding the perfect finishing touch, Coastal Brick and Stone brings craftsmanship and creativity to every project. From natural stone to pavers and outdoor living spaces, their expert team helps turn your vision into lasting curb appeal. Thank you, Coastal Brick and Stone, for supporting the conversation and the construction community. Learn more at coastalbrickandstone.com.
All right. A big thanks to Mike Miller from Specialty Roofers for joining us today. It was great learning about his experience and his insight in the roofing industry.
Yes. He was a great guest. But before we go, I want to mention our Built to Lead Summit. This is our second annual Contract Her conference, and we're going to be back at the Emerald Grand on September 10th, and tickets are now on sale. We sold out last year, so be sure to get your ticket. You can find them at www.contractors-connect.com.
Yep. We have some really exciting things that we're adding to the conference this year that I am pumped about. So check that out. We've got a whole kind of pre-show event, networking, couple of hours. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yep.
So
We've got a packed day.
Yep. Hope to see you guys there. And as always, be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. And thanks for listening to Trade Talk.
Thanks for tuning into Trade Talk, powered by Contractors Connect, where construction pros connect, share, and grow.
If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to like and subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your crew.
Until next time,
Stay sharp,
stay safe,
and keep building.